I persuaded myself it was merely a short escape, an opportunity to reignite the passion I believed had dimmed. My husband, Daniel, was a steadfast and caring man. Yet our marriage had slipped into a routine of predictable nights, silent breakfasts, and empty exchanges. When Ryan, an old flame, reappeared with whispers of excitement and adventure, I couldn't resist the pull. I orchestrated a secret getaway with him, deceiving Daniel with a story about visiting friends. To avoid interruptions, I blocked Daniel's number before boarding the plane. The trip unfolded like a dream. Lavish dinners, shared laughter, and stolen kisses that awakened a long-forgotten spark within me. With Ryan, I shoved aside thoughts of my responsibilities, my vows, and the man I'd left behind. Each night, I convinced myself this was a harmless fling, that I'd slip back into my everyday life without Daniel ever knowing. But in quiet moments, guilt gnawed at me. I suppressed it by keeping my phone powered off, dodging any impulse to reach out to my husband. I couldn't bear the thought of seeing his messages, hearing his voice, or confronting his concern. For a full week, I lost myself in a fantasy world while Daniel remained oblivious to my whereabouts or the cause of my silence. When the trip concluded, a blend of relief and apprehension surged through me. On the return flight, I unblocked Daniel's number, steeling myself for a flood of missed calls and worried texts. Instead, there was only silence. My heart clenched, but I reassured myself he might simply be granting me space, perhaps saving a gentle scolding for later about my unresponsiveness. I entered our home wearing a rehearsed smile, prepared to pretend nothing had changed. But the house felt off, eerily quiet. Daniel's shoes were missing from the doorway. His jacket wasn't slung over the armchair. The faint scent of his cologne had vanished. On the kitchen counter, I spotted a letter in his familiar handwriting, addressed to me. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. "Emily," it began. "I don't know where you vanished to or why you shut me out, but your silence said more than words ever could. A husband shouldn't have to beg for a place in his wife's world. I waited, I worried, and I came to see I deserve more than being ignored. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. I'm done chasing answers. Farewell." The words hit me like a blow no argument could match. My chest ached, my knees buckled, and I collapsed into a chair. I wanted to dial his number, to swear it wasn't what he thought, but deep down, I knew it was precisely what he suspected. My betrayal had shouted its truth louder than any defense I could muster. Weeks went by without a sign of Daniel. My calls, messages, and letters sent to his parents' address went unanswered. It was as though he'd erased me completely, leaving me alone in the stillness of the home we'd once shared. I had traded loyalty for fleeting excitement, and the cost was permanent. Ryan tried to contact me, but I ignored him. The thrill I'd once craved now felt sickening. He was never meant to be part of my life, and he never could be. All I yearned for was Daniel's return. But as time dragged on, it became clear he was gone forever. He had chosen himself over me. Memories of Daniel's quiet kindness tormented me. How he always made sure my car had gas, how he brewed coffee every morning, how he anchored me when I felt lost. Those small acts of devotion now felt like silent reproaches. I had chased a momentary rush and shattered the steady love that truly mattered. Friends noticed my transformation, my pallor, the missing wedding ring. They asked what had happened, but I couldn't bring myself to admit the truth. I muttered vague excuses about Daniel and me growing apart. In reality, I had broken something irreplaceable, and he had left before I could beg for forgiveness. Months later, divorce papers arrived. They were brief, free of bitterness or blame, only a stark finality. He sought no revenge, no confrontation, just release from me. Signing them felt like sealing the end of the life we'd built together. At night, I sometimes clutch my phone, staring at Daniel's contact, wondering if he ever thinks of me. But I know I'll never hear his voice, see his warm smile, or feel his unwavering love again. My choice to flee on that trip didn't just crack my marriage. It obliterated the man who once promised to stand by me forever. In the end, I learned that love isn't always about excitement or intensity. It's about commitment, respect, and the quiet power of trust. I lost Daniel because I forgot those lessons. Though life presses on, my heart lingers in the shadow of a husband I pushed away, only to realize too late that he had let me go for good.